as a child, I would have some pretty intense dreams. I would wake up very frightened and fearful, and I would wake up and I wouldn't know if it was reality or if it was just a nightmare. And then my freshman year in college, my psychology teacher, she talked to us about night terrors. And I automatically just guessed in the definition. I thought that's what I used to have as a child, because I would wake up terrified and it was at nighttime. Well, as she got in depth about it, I realized that it was not night terrors I was having. It was just a nightmare. So I think it's very important for people to realize the difference between a night terror and a nightmare. So today I'm going to tell you about what a night terror is, the cause of it, and the treatment for it. A night terror are sleep disturbances that are similar to nightmares, but they are very different from nightmares also. Whenever we sleep, we have several different stages. One of them is REM, which is rapid eye movement. In REM, that is whenever we dream. And that's also when we have our nightmares in. Another one is non-REM, and that's non-rapid eye movement. And in this stage, we do not dream. This is also when we have our night terrors in. There are 4 different stages in non-REM. And around between the third and fourth stage is whenever a child or an adult will have a night terror. It usually happens between 1 and 4 hours of whenever you fall asleep. This kind of sleep is whenever you're the deepest sleep that you are ever in. Sometimes it's even known to skip a breath. And it's very difficult to wake up to it. In REM, you wake up to even a door opening. One of the things in night terrors that's very scary about it is that you wake up the next morning and you did not realize that you had it. Night terrors are more common in children than they are adults, but it is common for adults to have them. Whenever children have them, they're usually between 3 and 12 years old, and it's only 3 to 6% that will actually have night terrors. And 80% of sleepwalkers, their children will have night terrors. So, and also if you have night terrors, your children can sleepwalk and vice versa. One of the causes of night terrors is an overarousal of the central nervous system. This is genetics. You can get this from your family. And one of the big causes of night terrors is, for children, is sleep, anxiety, stress, if you're taking a certain kind of medications, or if you just have a fever. Another big one for children, if they're sleeping at a friend's house for the first time and it's an unfamiliar place, it will usually trigger them having a night terror. It's also more common in boys than it is girls. One of the treatments for night terrors in children is for you to get them in a routine of sleeping their full 8 hours a night. It's also healthy for your children too. And another thing is, whenever a child's having a night terror, if you wake them up or shake them, it will make it twice as worse. It'll make them more fearful, and most likely won't even wake up. Whenever a child's having a night terror, they have the glazed look over their eyes, just like they do whenever they're sleepwalking. And they also will sit up straight, and they will just scream. And although it's very scary for a parent to see their child during that, the best thing for a parent to do is let their child just run it out, get out of their system, and they'll fall right back to sleep. Another thing is that if you want to prevent your child from having a night terror, is to, whenever they get in their sleep cycle, 15 minutes before they usually have their night terror, is to wake them up. And then it disrupts their sleep cycle, and they'll just skip over their night terror when they go back to sleep. And if you do this every night, they'll eventually just get rid of the night terror. Whenever it comes to adults or teenagers having it, if they have night terrors, it's usually from if they were in a war, or if they experienced a family member close to them dying, or they experienced something that was very fearful to them and it frightened them. This also would trigger them having a night terror. And if an adult's having this, a treatment for them would usually be medical treatment from a doctor. Understanding the difference between a night terror and a nightmare is very important, because then if you have a roommate or a child or even a family member that's having them, you can help them prevent from having these. So having this knowledge will not only help you, but it will help you from waking up from someone screaming.